Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd. Brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Pristine Water, Files Insurance Agency, Jenkins Nissan, and by Marshside Grill. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Brunswick High Pirates, the Professor, Teddy Bishop.
Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Teddy Bishop on location at Marshside Grill, where we will be each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Sunday night for the entire season. This segment of the Victor Floyd Show is sponsored by Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Coastal Appliances, Apple Care Immediate Care, Files Insurance Agency, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Pristine Water and Pools, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and Marshside Grill. And now joining us, the head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, Victor Floyd.
Good evening.
Coach, I've had several people ask me about the brawl that broke out Friday night in the game against Effingham, so let's address it and move on. What happened?
Well, I think it's just one of those things that happen in competitive sports one time. At points, sometimes. One of the Effingham players after the play pushed one of our guys' heads in the ground, and him jumping up, not thinking, threw the football at him. And it kind of turned into a little pushing match from that point on. But we got it broke up pretty quick, so it got resolved, and we're just going to try to move on from it.
Coach, I understand that the penalty for being ejected from a football game is at least a one-game suspension. Do you anticipate anyone being suspended for more than one game?
I certainly hope not. This is the first time I've dealt with a situation like this. But from my understanding, it's just one game when you were ejected, and you move on from there.
And Coach, sitting up in the press box doing the broadcast, and of course I'm certainly biased for Brunswick High, but I was a little surprised that only 4 Effingham players were ejected. There were at least 10 kids that sprinted all the way across the field to get involved in the brouhaha. Do you know what is the procedure for officials in deciding who gets ejected?
Well, I think it's based on the naked eye, and that was probably pretty hard to see, because I know that there's probably at least one of ours that got ejected. He was just trying to pull guys off. So, you know, I think it's naked eye. It happens so fast a lot of times. They miss numbers, don't get all the numbers. They do what they can under the circumstances. When it's that many young people involved, it's hard to tell.
And I thought the coaches from both teams did a good job, and like you said, getting it resolved pretty quickly.
Well, we definitely tried to jump in and get it resolved as quick as possible, and I thought our guys did a pretty solid job with that.
Coach, before we talk about the Statesboro game, let's talk about the win over Effingham. Big region game, and we had talked about before, probably that was a must-win game to stay in the playoff hunt.
Well, I think it was a must-win game to stay in the region championship hunt. And it was a big game for us, and we needed to get that one. Because now we're just a game out of first, just a game out of first place right now is the way we see it.
And Effingham came into that game with a 3-0 record, had only given up 22 points in those 3 games, but the Pirates hung 40 points on the scoreboard against the Rebels. To me, I thought a key to that was the blocking of our offensive line.
It was huge. On a wet night, we didn't throw it a whole lot. We threw it as needed, and we had made a sound decision to try to run the ball a lot. And we were able to have success doing that, so we stuck to our guns.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach Amarius Wilson rushed for 127 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. As you know, Kip Branch and I do the broadcast, and we award a player of the game after the game is over, and we agreed that Amarius was the player of the game. with John Grant out with an injury, I thought Amarius really stepped up and did a good job.
He did. He gave us strong flashes of what we saw last year out of him as a junior. I've been a little bothered by injuries this year, and it's taken him a while to get going, but I thought he played well this past Friday night. Thought he showed us flashes last week, and hopefully he'll get in a rhythm now and continue to play well down the stretch.
And every week we talk about Randon Jernigan, the freshman quarterback. Another big game for Randon, 280 total yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Is there anything he does at this point that surprises you?
No, I'm not surprised. I understand where Randon is ability-wise, and he's just going to get better and better over time. And each game he takes a step forward.
And you had talked before about making some freshman mistakes, which particularly the first 3 games. But I thought he was pretty solid all the way up and down in the game against Effingham.
Yeah, 1 turnover. Other than that, I thought he played really well.
Coach, let's talk about our defense. Effingham only had 197 total yards of offense, and for the most part, I thought the Pirate defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage.
They did. Play real well up front on the defensive line. Chris Coward, Reggie Jackson, Alan Richardson, Mike Little, Keenan Wilson, all 5 of those guys rotating in and out, did a really good job up front being able to control the line of scrimmage most of the night.
Coach, any other players from the Effingham game that you want to offer some kudos to? I know with a big win like that and 40 points on the board, several players had really solid games.
They did. I thought Devonis Johnson played real solid at backer. Gunnar Gentry played well coming off the bench. We lost William Brinkley, our left guard, on the first drive and to an ankle. And Gunnar had to go in and play the rest of the game, and he graded out over 70%. I thought he did real solid, being kind of on the spot Johnny, having to go in and play. I thought he did a good job for us. Let me see, who else probably played pretty solid? Eli Bora played pretty well. Caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Had a big first down catch, and he blocked real well. So we're starting to get some production out of different guys, and that's huge at this point because you want to get better and better and better, and it doesn't need to be the same guys every week. It needs to be different guys.
Coach, I was impressed with Effingham's big tight end, Andre Brown. Just a solid football player for the most part. I think the Pirates held him in check pretty well. I'm not sure who had most of the coverage on him, but I thought he was very impressive, and obviously I think he'll be playing at the collegiate level.
He's a basketball kid first, I think, first year playing football, and he's still learning the game, but he's such a large presence that he's a handful to cover. Has good hands. I think he's still learning from the blocking perspective, but being 6'6", 265, 270, he'd definitely get an opportunity to play college football if he decides that's what he wants to do.
More to come on the Victor Floyd Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Coastal Appliances is your one-stop shop for Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool refrigerators, and so much more. Coastal Appliances offers free delivery and service after installation and have also been in business for over 30 years. 4727 Altama, next to Sonic, and on the web at appliancesbrunswickga.com, or give them a call at 912-267-0132. Coastal Appliances, Glenn County's only specialty appliance store. When you are in need of a reputable body shop, Port City Paint and Body in Brunswick is your answer. Located at 2509 Norwood Street, just down from Twin Oaks, Port City Paint and Body understands your needs and cares about your car and you. Port City Paint and Body works with any insurance company. Give them a call for a free estimate at 912-265-9524 or on the web at portcitybodyshop.com. Port City Paint and Body, home of the lifetime guarantee, and go Pirates!
Hop aboard for Texas Hold'em tournaments, roulette, poker, lots of slot action, food, music, and more. Labor Day weekend, Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. Cruises depart from Brunswick, Georgia. Call 800-842-0115 or visit EmeraldPrincessCasino.com. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Get affordable health care when you need it. At AppleCare Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glencoe Parkway, AppleCare is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. AppleCare welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Teddy Bishop, and we are on location from Marshside Grill. This segment of the Victor Floyd Coaches Show is brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Jenkins Nissan, and AppleCare Immediate Care. Coach, let's talk a little bit about special teams and the kicking game. Tyler Mitchum had a couple of kickoffs that went out of bounds, and I know Effingham did have one pretty decent kickoff return. Was he trying to kick away from the return game, or just kind of hit it off the side of his foot? Or
No, he just hit it off the side of his foot because he's supposed to kick left or right depending upon what the defensive coach is telling, and we covered that way, and he just hit it off his foot wrong a couple times.
And on the opening kickoff, where you had all of your players bunched up in the middle of the field, I've never seen that before. Was that something you were just experimenting with? You only did it that one time.
Yeah, we didn't cover like we were supposed to. They're supposed to bunch up and then disperse into their lanes.
Right.
And we never quite made it into our lanes, so we decided to do away with that.
Right. And again, talking about special teams and the kicking and punting game, Pirates had that punt that was blocked, recovered by Effingham at the Pirate 5-yard line, and that led to a touchdown. Obviously, someone missed the blocking assignment because he came in pretty much untouched.
I replaced Carlos with a sophomore, trying to give him a break on the punt team, and the young man just missed his block. And I had to put Carlos back in on punt team after that. He didn't quite understand what his responsibility was. So, or either he wasn't ready for it to be live. Maybe that's it. He understood when we were just walking through it. But we missed the block there, and I was really upset about that because the punt team's mine. And that's the first punt I've had blocked since my first year. We had one blocked in the second round against Griffin my first year in Brunswick. And from that point on, I took the punt team. And I hated to get a punt block because it's such a game changer. Such a game changer. But hopefully we've got that solved.
Definitely it can be a game changer. And Kip and I were talking on the radio, on the broadcast, about momentum was with Brunswick High, even though getting ready to punt it away, but then the block punt, the Effingham touchdown, and they were back in the game. As it turned out, it wasn't a major factor, but definitely could be in a little bit closer ball game.
Right.
Coach, what do you think the Pirates need to work on that didn't go well against Effingham? I know you mentioned the block punt. I'm sure you've taken care of that already. So,
right.
Anything else that you think you need to work on?
We just have to continue to be consistent on special teams because we had a couple of returns against our kickoff team that were definitely too far. So we've got to improve in that area. We just got to get consistency in what we're trying to do. I think everybody understands what we're doing. We're being consistent play in and every play. That's going to be the thing down the stretch.
You're listening to the Victor Floyd Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. We are at Marshside Grill here in Brunswick. And, of course, the head pirate himself, Victor Floyd, is with us. Coach, you mentioned some injuries from Friday night. From the injuries, anything ongoing? And I know A.J. Jackson and John Grant missed the Effingham game. Do you know when they might be back, or other players that were injured?
Right. A.J. and John probably still will be on the shelf this week. Jackson Gibbs will be back with us this week. Friday night, William Brinkley was the only one that had an injury, and it's a sprained ankle. So, that's probably a day-to-day. He possibly could miss this game, but we should get him back soon.
Pirates are on the road this coming Friday, traveling to Statesboro in another big region game. Coach, it's never easy to play at Womack Field.
No, it's not. It's not. We are during my tenure here, we were 1-2 there.
And it's also homecoming for Statesboro, so you know that they will be fired up for the homecoming game.
Oh, yeah, they'll be fired up for homecoming, and we'll definitely get their best game, I'm sure.
The coach, facts are facts. Blue Devils are 0-3. They've been shut out twice. They have a young team. Do you think that the Pirates may be going into that game a little too overconfident, perhaps?
I doubt it. We're not in a position to be overconfident with anyone. There are a couple of factors there that still remain. It's a home game for them. They still have a good football team. They've just made some mistakes and turned the ball over, which we all know that could happen to anybody. And they need a region win, and it's homecoming. So, we're going to get their best game. I don't think the record's any indication of, who they really are, because they've played a good Burke team. Wayne is a good team. South Effingham is much improved. So, they've played some quality people. I don't think the record truly indicates what type of team. When I cut the tape on, I still see a big, physical, strong Statesboro team like they always have.
Coach, in the past, the Statesboro run game has been to keep punching it between the tackles. Is that pretty much what you anticipate this week?
That's pretty much what we anticipate. That's what they want to do. That's what they try to do. And that's what we're expecting.
Coach, Brunswick High, I think, certainly will be favored going into that game. And after Statesboro hosts Brunswick High, then they travel to Douglas. Another tough road game for them. Conceivably, Statesboro could be 0-5 halfway through the season. I don't ever remember that happening.
I wouldn't count those biddies just yet, because a lot of people had Indiana marked off when they went to Missouri yesterday. So anything could happen in this game. That's why you play the game.
And, Coach, there are 6 players suspended for the Statesboro game. Is that 6 players?
Yes.
And obviously some key players there. How does that affect your game plan against Statesboro?
Anytime you're missing starters or guys that play a lot, it's going to affect the game plan. We did something wrong, so we're going to have to suffer the consequences. And, we'll come up with a solid plan. We'll probably have to use some younger guys in those positions, and they just have to step up to the plate and perform.
We'll be right back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glenn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust. Files Insurance Agency, located at 5623 Altama Avenue, a quarter-mile north of the Target Shopping Center, offers a wide range of products to protect you and your family from the unknown. Auto insurance, life, health, flood, commercial, bonds, including shrimp bonds, and so much more. Give Files Insurance Agency a call at 912-264-0100 or visit them online at filesinsurance.com. Pristine Water is your destination for pools, spas, and pool supplies. From installation to maintenance, Pristine Water is your best choice in all of Southeast Georgia for your next pool or spa. Give Pristine Water a call at 912-264-9233 for a free estimate, or stop on in at 166 Key Circle Drive, or check Pristine Water out online at pristinewaterandpools.com. And go Pirates!
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simon's Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Marshside Grill is your home for the best burgers, spuds, and seafood around. Come enjoy the view out by the water while taking in an ice-cold beverage. Marshside Grill is also your home for the Brunswick High Pirates Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd, and a proud sponsor of Brunswick High and local high school athletics. So stop in any day or night of the week for the best view and atmosphere in the Golden Isles. And also, check us out on Facebook. Go Pirates!
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Pirate Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Teddy Bishop, and I'm on location at Marshside Grill with the head pirate himself, Victor Floyd. This segment of the Victor Floyd Show is brought to you by Bruce Kennedy Tire, Files Insurance Agency, Pristine Water and Pools, and by Misty's Element Massage. Coach, talking a little bit more about Statesboro, and I was looking at their roster on the internet today, and they have a amazingly young team. I only counted maybe 8 or 9 seniors on the entire team.
Yeah, Coach Pennington, we talked last week, and he lost a lot of seniors last year, really big class, around 30 seniors, and they're playing some guys this year that are real young and inexperienced. That's why I think they will get better week to week to week, because he's breaking in some new guys, and they'll get better as the weeks go on, because they didn't get a lot of playing time last year with such a large, good senior group like they had.
But Steve Pennington, coach at Statesboro, excellent coach, and with whatever players he has, whether upperclassmen or underclassmen, you can rest assured he'll have them ready to play.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Coach Pennington does a good job. He's been in it for 35 years. He's won multiple state championships, numerous region championships, and he'll have them ready to go. He'll have them ready to play.
And it seems like he always has them ready to play against Brunswick High.
No doubt about it. We're 2-2 against Statesboro my 4 years playing them.
Coach, I want to go back to the brawl from Friday night just a little bit. How do you address this in a team meeting with your players and coaches, particularly the players? How do you address that?
Well, the biggest thing is we have to be disciplined. And discipline is on the field, off the field. It's, it's in between whistles. It's after the whistle. Those are things we have to constantly stress, because we're in a society now where you stress for young people to do the right thing and what they're supposed to, and there's still no guarantee they're going to do that. They always know what to do, but will they make the right choice? And that goes along on the field also. It's just like in their daily lives in the classrooms and other parts of their life. They have choices to make, and we just have to make better choices as a team.
Coach, I know as their coach, you since I've known you in the time that you've been here, the 6 years plus that you've been here, you always have stressed that with your players, making the right choices, making good decisions, and I applaud you for that. And an incident like Friday night, an isolated thing, but it happened. But I know that it's something you will address with them. And again, I applaud you for the way you handle these young men. I think sometimes we forget they are still kids, not young kids, but 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and they're going to make some bad choices from time to time. And I just want to say I applaud you for trying to make sure these young men make good choices and do the right thing.
Well, thank you. I think that's our responsibility to try to help them in that category. That's a tough thing to do now, is to make the right choices with a lot of the peer pressures they're faced with on a daily basis. But we try. We definitely try.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with the Brunswick High head Pirate, Victor Floyd, on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, Ware County had another big region win over Richmond Hill on Friday night. They now sit atop the region, but a lot of teams only have one loss. Do you think the 4 playoff spots are still wide open?
I do. I think all of them are open at this point. It's too early really to call, who the best team is, because again, we're dealing with teenagers. You don't know what's going to happen Friday night to Friday night.
Coffee County had a big win over Glen Academy. So that I know Glen Academy has the tiebreaker on Brunswick High, but Brunswick High has 1 loss, Glen Academy 1 loss, Coffee, and I think even Statesboro still only has 1 region loss. So, as you said, still a lot of things can happen from Friday night to Friday night.
There's no doubt.
Were there any surprises from the region games Friday night?
South Effingham over Statesboro with a shutout was a little surprise to me. I didn't expect that. But again, coach is going through some growing pains, so, they'll get better as they go.
How about from around the area? I know Camden beat Wayne County. When we were doing the broadcast, I think somebody was just trying to play a little bit, but somebody sent in a score that Wayne was leading Camden after 3 quarters, and we weren't totally convinced that was the case. And then, of course, we looked it up. But Camden won. McIntosh had another disappointing loss. But any surprises from the area?
No surprises. We have a lot of good teams in South Georgia. I think most of them are living up to the billing.
Coach, you have any updates from former Pirates now playing at the collegiate level? I know some games yesterday, and you may not have had a chance to really check your former players and everything, but any news that you can share with us on how some of them may have done yesterday?
Well, I had an opportunity to check all of them, but I do know Chris Anderson had a big game at Valdosta yesterday. I think they came up a little short against Delta State, but he had 11 catches for about 180 yards and a touchdown. And Avery at Georgia State played at the University of Washington yesterday. They came up a little short also, but he had 4 catches for 40 yards. And I hadn't had an opportunity to look up the rest of the guys, but we had about 13 or 14 guys active yesterday playing.
And we talked a little bit about, in previous weeks, we've talked about Justin Coleman at Tennessee. I think Tennessee had a bye week yesterday, didn't play.
They did.
But
Albany State had a bye week too. Jarvis didn't play either, Jarvis Small.
So some Brunswick High players getting a week off yesterday. Coach, after we go to Statesboro, we return to Glenn County Stadium and only have about 30 seconds left, but we will host South Effingham in Brunswick High's homecoming game. That'll be, once again, another big region game for the Pirates.
Yes, and we'll look forward to getting back home. We'll be on the road this week, and Statesboro is always a tough game on the road, but we look forward to coming back on the 3rd, playing South Effingham for homecoming.
And then you'll have 2 weeks to prepare for Coffee County, in which will be another road game.
Yes, and will be hopefully an important road game also.
And that's going to wrap it up for the Brunswick High Coaches Show with Victor Floyd. We thank you for joining us on the Bishop Media Sports Network. We invite you to come out to Marside Grill and join us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. where we will be talking to the head pirate, Victor Floyd. Come on out. If you have some questions you'd like to pose to Coach Floyd, I'm sure he'll be glad to answer them. And we thank you for joining us. Coach Floyd, thank you. And this is Teddy Bishop signing off. Good night.